Alright, so I'm trying to platinum over 100 games in a list created by the community. Now, if I can't do this before the channel hits 850,000 subscribers, then I will shave my head bald and look like a base character from a video game. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Alright, so today I chose to platinum God of War 3. This is the third game in the classic trilogy, of course. And before we go any further, I first of all want to talk about the guide for this game that I followed on PSN Profiles. That's because it is a complete and utter lie in terms of time, difficulty, and even how it's formatted. Main reason being because you have to beat the game on Titan difficulty, which is the hardest first available option, and that, my friends, is no 4 out of 10 difficulty. I've platinumed my fair share of 4 out of 10s in my lifetime. Some would say it's all I can ever pull to begin with. But anyways, yeah, this guide is horrible. I don't know what idiots gave it a 5-star, but they should be ashamed. Alright, let's get into the video. God of War 3 only has 35 trophies inside, including the platinum. It took me a whopping 20 hours to finish, 2 playthroughs, and I also further de-atomized the controller that I had, but it was already broken, so don't flip out on me. I was just digging its grave further. Oh my god! The first step I took toward my downfall like Kratos off a cliff was to play through the game on easy and gather every collectible on the way for numerous different trophies. God of War 3 picks up right after the previous game, and Kratos and all the Titans are sort of a team heading up Mount Olympus to fight the gods and regain control of the world and power. There's actually 2 boss fights in this section, by the way, both of which are quite annoying on Titan difficulty, but they are pretty easy when you're playing on easy, you know, as you'd expect. The first fight was against this horse kind of enemy, but it was really just an extended hand or arm of Poseidon trying to drag down Gaia and Kratos in the process. There was multiple stages against the creature though, and a few breaks in between to recover any anal matter that might have been torn off in the excitement. Oh, and speaking of torn up things, I got a trophy already from ripping apart one Olympus sentry called Torn Up. This is just a combat move done from pressing circle on a weak enemy essentially. Very easy, just like your mother. Why the f did I just say a mom joke, dude? I'm going insane. Anyways, the real boss in this section, or rather the cool one that we actually care enough to talk about, is indeed Poseidon. You know, that one dude who was like the god of water or something weird? And no, not the Fiji Water Company. You basically just battle him over and over in this very crammed in spot until furthering it to a top of Gaia herself, who is literally just our arena, if you will. Imagine being so huge that people can have full-blown fights to death on you. Lizzo probably knows the feeling, let's be honest. But yeah, you battle more up here until hitting Poseidon so hard you rip him out of his water costume and into just human form. There was then a very cool and I bet very revolutionary first-person cutscene where you see the game through Poseidon's eyes and watch as Kratos obliterates him, taking out the first god of many, many today. Also, you get a trophy from all of that, as you would expect, because that is basically the intro of the game done with. Now, I say basically because it isn't the intro 100% finished, but it's the last time we got to play. You then just watch a cutscene as Kratos confronts Zeus, gets blasted from a lightning bolt, and essentially falls all the way off the mountain. Gaia also chose not to help us get back up, letting us fall, so we officially have an op. She probably stank anyway. But then Kratos kept on falling all the way down to hell, actually. That's one hell of a fall, if you will. Yeah, and we actually landed in water because Minecraft logic. This body of water being the river Styx, which also then stripped Kratos of all of his powers, buffs, and upgrades, giving us that traditional God of War game feeling, having jack to do jack with. Don't we just love that? So yeah, this entire game actually had Kratos just in hell for 99% of it trying to get out, and it's kind of bland looking at it as a whole, but while playing you hardly realize it, so I won't complain about how simple the game's story is. They do make it work, sadly. Anyways, the next trophy I got was just a weapon trophy from acquiring the Bow of Apollo. To get the bow, you did also have to do the first puzzle of the game, which was shockingly funny and brutal. Shout out cremations for real. About 10 minutes after that, when Kratos was in the middle of doing a combat challenge to open some gates and get access to some portals and stuff, I took a pause from the carnage to upgrade my weapons because I was feeling all limp, and that's not good for business. Upon upgrading my first weapon to a new tier, I got a trophy added on to new levels of strength and muscles. And a bit after that, we were then doing a fire fan puzzle to get up because that's the direction we have to travel in general. But there was a cute little missable trophy right here already from going into this sub-level of the wall. This was also needed for a collectible anyways, so we knocked 2 birds with 1 stone, if you will. And all this traveling and puzzles we have been doing has all been taking us in one giant circle back to the start where we dropped in from. Except on the way, we of course grabbed some new items, the bow for starters, and that same fire bow could then be used on this door to get into the lair of Hades. Once inside, we then had a very long puzzle, a bit confusing but mostly just long, all to crack open his statue and enter him, I guess. I didn't know Kratos got down like that, shout out to his dead wife. But once we were inside of Hades, it then spawned him in, or rather he showed up out of the shadows if you want to be historically accurate, and we fought. It was a real good tussle. Seeing as I am currently playing on easy though, I hate to say it, but no deaths occurred. The fight itself was kind of cool, however. I particularly loved when my entire screen got full of chains. truly reminded me of my time in the clink with Ramirez Alfonso Jr. I'll never forget what happened in those showers, Ramirez. You can't escape your fate, son. Sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, I won the Hades boss fight and got a trophy. My bad, the Adderall is kicking in right now. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we had to kill Hades because we need the soul of a god to open this portal and travel to the city of Olympus. Neat little fast travel out of hell, I can't complain. But right away after getting to the city of sins, Gaia's crusty rock ass was here begging for help and we chopped off her hand. On second thought, I'm not actually sure if she wanted us to do that, but we did, and her hand is gone. Also, that gave us a trophy, which is even more fun. I mean, I was fine with the casual body dismemberment, but hey. Aside from that, though, we got inside the caves of the city because the level design of this game focused much more on spelunking opposed to beautiful landscapes. And there was a neat little feature where you could insert your blades deeply into a harpy and then do some cool flying parkour with them. In the process of doing this, I also covered Kratos in 500 buckets of blood, supposedly. I mean, who's tracking this shit? It's an insanely odd statistic. We should really be tracking the amount of titties the Santa Monica Studio developers had to draw on animals because personally that is a crazy thing to do, but that's just me. I know Cali rolls wild.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, sorry for the rants today, I don't know what's happening. While in the city, we also found the next god on the hit list, and it was that bastard Helios. Bro got the same name as that shoe brand the cool kids wear at school before showing you their backpack. But we sniped him out of the air with a ballista, which was tragic. Like, actually, he died from it. And we just waltzed on over to gloat in his face before ripping his head off, literally. And I got a trophy from his execution, as you would hope for. But aside from the trophy, the Helios head is a key item in this game, being able to light up the darkness of the levels and our sad heart. Now, we have honestly been getting trophies fairly consistently so far, which is shocking because this game has a very small amount of trophies. I mean, it literally has 2 more than the SpongeBob game, which is crazy. So it took me a hot minute before achieving my next digital trophy reward, but in the flat time before, we did do some pretty cool things with Kratos, like this very fun flying section having to dodge obstacles. This is also probably a mobile game concept out there, let's be honest though. But that brought us to the labyrinth, which is portrayed in this game as a bunch of floating boxes. Not sure if that's more scary than the traditional maze in my head when thinking of a labyrinth, but it's definitely creative to say the least. And then we basically just had to follow, or rather chase, Hermes around, the fast god. This was actually kind of sad though, because Kratos is no way in hell ever catching the guy, and he low-key could have just ran away and been fine, but instead he let us hit him and kind of kill him. I think Hermes might have had some underlying mental health problems, but don't we all? So yeah, we then brutally chopped off his legs. Not sure if that will be in the video or not, it was kind of graphic. But that was to steal his shoes so we can now run fast, because who doesn't love running fast? There was then some boring filler puzzle before reaching Hera and Hercules. Hera, of course, is just a drunk wife, so she watched as Hercules beat the shit and out of me, and I cried quite a bit. But this entire fight against him was also all just so we could get his gloves to use for puzzles and because they look cool. Long story short, we killed Hercules by punching his face so much he died and got a trophy. At this point in the game, I had also acquired enough souls to level up with Claws of Hades enough to unlock every single ultimate kind of move with them. And if you press R2 with them equipped on each move, you will get this trophy. Very easy, but kind of missable if you're a dum-dum. I then reached the infamous room that all trophy hunters will remember in God of War 3. That is because this room in particular can be used to farm 3 of the most annoying combat trophies. Obedience School, which is gotten from kicking 50 hounds. Nice Tannin, which is gotten from blinding 100 enemies with the head of Helios. And finally, it's getting hot in here from burning 100 enemies with the bow of Apollo. And yeah, as I just said and showed you guys, all of these trophies can be farmed here and probably should be, since they are all just grindy ass combat trophies. What a good 20 minutes of my life well spent. Anyways, I would show you all what happened after grinding those trophies and the dime piece we brought through the portal, but let's just say this game had a big emphasis on titty to screen ratio that is yet to be seen in the God of War series. Speaking of titties on screen, the next trophy I got was from, and I quote, f***ing Aphrodite. Okay, I must confess, they didn't say that, but that's what happened. Yes, your screen is gonna be blurred right now. Hell, the chipmunks might even be there in place. We need something to bring back this video's ad approval ratings, my god. Alright, moving on, we finally escaped the sinful lust of a man and got to go back to what makes God of War awesome. Killing stuff. And I did just that, killing my 3rd centaur and gutting it without failing for a trophy that is honestly very missable because there is only 3 moments you could even attempt this. I then completed a very odd and somewhat confusing box parkour puzzle next, but upon reaching the top of it, I escaped my eternal damnation and got a trophy called Open Sesame. This then led us right on out into the natural air of whatever disgusting land we are in now. I'm pretty sure we're in Tartarus still, but I honestly won't claim that since I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention. I was watching closely though in this boss section because for the next 10 minutes straight, we battled with this giant named Fat who was forced to walk the earth with a rock on his back. And he also had a gnarly kidney stone in his stomach, which Kratos so confidently grabbed for him, and then sliced open his insides. All of that before then killing him with a swift, okay, maybe not so swift, shoving of glowing blue stone into his jawline. He was a beta male anyway. Oh yeah, and we retrieved that kidney stone for this blacksmith in the pits of hell who said he would make us a weapon worthy of killing Zeus, but I'ma break it to you. This dude was capping the whole time. He thought we would die getting it. Also, we banged his wife, but that's not important since we took him out right after he tried to kill us. What an idiot. So now we basically have every item we need to take down Zeus. However, there is still much land to traverse and many puzzles to goon to. I ended up in a room with these teleportation portal thingies, and this room also had a load of collectibles in it. After grabbing all of them in here, I would also get max magic for a trophy and max health for another trophy, making my day exponentially better in the process. I then made my way outside again and confronted Hera. Although since she was a woman and under the influence, Kratos decided not to take her head off with a quick slice, but if he had, that would have strengthened the plot, let's be honest here. However, I did get a trophy just for picking up the chalice she threw, since it was the last godly treasure I needed to get for another collectible trophy. Within her maze of puzzles she had us do, I also found the last horn I needed to for the maximum of the special move thing, and I got the last collectible trophy, I believe. I then spent a hot minute figuring out her puzzle because it was kind of confusing, but also not. The main ticker here was that you had to go into a different perspective to view the solution for it. Overall though, it had like less than 5 steps and was very overrated. But I did of course receive a trophy upon escaping it. That then let us reach the real entrance to the labyrinth after, because that is basically the final area we need to get through. Seeing as the Flame of Olympus and Pandora's box are both inside and Kratos is after them to take down Zeus. But in order to operate the boxes of the labyrinth, we had to boss battle a damn scorpion who got into the secret roid rash and also had a frozen tip. Kind of a weird flex. But upon defeating it, we got this frozen shard used to turn on and off power of the labyrinth and also a trophy. And yeah, I then began to explore the labyrinth as you could guess. This did take me a long time though, because there was also a trophy gotten from not dying at all when inside of it. Thankfully there was checkpoints, so we weren't totally bent over and with the developers here. But about halfway through it, you encounter this girl named Pandora. Damn, I wonder if she has a box hidden anywhere. But yeah, she was like essential to the story and stuff. However, after playing on Titan difficulty and seeing her just sit there and watch as I got abused, I have nothing to say about her. But yeah, she does have a box named after her, so that's cool. I mean, I don't even have that, so that's a W. The rest of the labyrinth then just had combat, like legit. Okay, maybe there was a puzzle or two, but it was mostly just combat. And once I finally got free of it without dying, of course, I got the trophy from doing that. A few minutes after that, by the way, I had finally gotten enough points to upgrade all of my weapons and magic items for that trophy in addition. I then broke free the chains of Olympus, which were held up by 3 men. And they were quote-unquote wise men, because the trophy I got from that action was called just that. And the rest of the game was then just one long fight against Zeus. Now on easy, it was very simple, so I won't talk too much about it. There was numerous stages, however, and eventually Zeus did get defeated by Kratos, as you would expect, but the motherfucker said psych and soul projected himself into the world for seconds. He also came back and killed us, literally. Kratos then had a wondrous walking in the dark and reminiscing moment. This is the initial inspiration baby for the Atreus missions of God of War Ragnarok, and I hate them. Alright, so yeah, once Kratos reached the ending of his self-acceptance, we got put back into the world of the living and had a neat first-person section slicing up Zeus's soul, then actually just beating the shit out of him. Very cool, lots of blood, and a trophy from killing him. The game then ends off with Kratos actually stabbing himself with a blade of Olympus to kill the power he had inside him. Now that was kind of unfortunate, and then there were lots of credits. After those, we also got another trophy from finishing the game in general. So that was the majority of the trophies in the list. The only remaining ones I had were the Challenge of Olympus combat trophy, like usual within these games, the Titan difficulty trophy of course, and also a 1000 hit combo one, which I think is only possible on Titan difficulty in like one spot, but we're gonna get to that. So first I did the Challenge of Olympus, which in the trophy guide is claimed as being the hardest trophy in the game, which is complete bullshit. This challenge is the easiest out of the trilogy and took me a mere 30 minutes to complete with only getting stuck on one of them. So I'm not sure what pack the dude who wrote this was smoking, is smoking, or continues to smoke, and yeah, here's that challenge trophy. I then began my Titan playthrough, which as I have tried to express so far was horrible. I would personally give it a 6 out of 10 rating instead of a 4 out of 10, and I would almost say 7, but that's a stretch, let's be honest. The generic enemies are usually not much of a challenge, but basically every single boss is, along with the harder and stronger normal enemies that get thrown at you throughout. But the majority of my troubles came from that final fight with Zeus. It personally took me about 40 minutes to complete just the last section, which is bizarre. But I would ultimately find out that it was due to just how the game functions on Titan. In that final fight, it's actually better to be more passive than aggressive, seeing as being more aggressive causes the Zeus enemy to do the same and spawn in more clones and shit. Overall though, it was a f***ing retarded fight, and I hate this game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I got that 1000 hit trophy at some random spot in Tartarus, where you can abuse the spawn system. It was swell. So yeah, there's that trophy, and here's also the Titan difficulty one once I finally did it and shed a few tears in the process, along with the Platinum Trophy pop. So that was the God of War 3 Platinum Trophy experience. Overall, I gotta say, if they just cut that Titan difficulty trophy out, this would have actually been one of the most fun Platinum Trophies I've ever done. God of War 3 somehow manages to make an insanely simple plot with us deadass just standing in the same place the whole time a lot of fun. There were some moments, however, that I did kind of hate, but you know, I hate a lot of things. It's self-reflection, it's not personal. So I'm gonna rate God of War 3 at a solid 8 out of 10, and that's it. Goodbye. I'm gonna be grinding Black Ops 6 when this video is out, so if you see me in the lobby, please let me kill you. Okay, see you later.